Now, because this abscess is broke out here, I'm going to be a little careful not to squeeze this with my knee. I'm going to try to stay away from that. As I said before, this mare's already been evaluated, looked at by a veterinarian, and he diagnosed it. So we're just going to try to get something on here to protect that area. And this, I think, is probably where the issue is. Maybe the vet took a little pressure off of there. We're going to try to unload this completely. I'm not going to take a whole lot out here. This is a bit of an upright foot, which sometimes will have a thinner sole in this area. They have more heel. I'm defining the bars a little bit. Alright, using this diamond loop knife, all I'm doing is cleaning it up. I'm not taking a lot out, just defining the bottom of that foot a little bit. That's all. Staying away from this. I'm going to take a little tiny cut on this just to open it up. I think this is going all the way up and exiting out the front of that lateral toe quarter. You can see it's inside the white line. This white line is stretched this much. Should be tight, and I can feel the flare on this side of the foot. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a trim. There's not a lot of foot to come off of here. A lot of the dressing I'll do will be on the outside of the foot. As I talked before, this heel was forward just about 1/4 of an inch or so. That'll come back with my Bellotta rasp. This mare's barefoot. This is all normal. Within a shoeing or two, you can have this foot nicely balanced, supported, and fit. An upright foot or a club type foot, a grade 1 club, very similar to this. A lot of hoof wall out here, a lot of stretching of the white line. I try to get as much of this off from this position as possible. I'm just looking at the center of this frog, and I'm going to try to make that foot, within reason, be symmetrical around that. We're hoping that getting a shoe on here and unloading this foot is going to help her stand better. But once you have an abscess go out and bust the coronary, a lot of times that coronary being split, and we'll show you that from the front, will pinch as the horse bears weight. So that adds some issues also. I'm just going to clean this up. We're going to put some copper sulfate in this to fill it up before we put our shoe on, to try to keep most of that bacteria and fungus from turning into something else. Even though this is separated here in the toe, I still believe that most of the problem is this right here. While I was underneath of it, and I used my rasp to rasp some of this flare off that was here that I pointed out. Now I'm going to pick that foot up and I'm going to dress this foot down to kind of mimic the coronary. You can see what I told you from underneath. There's the abscess that came out, and see how that moves. And I believe when these horses, once they break out like that and the horse bears weight, we'll make her bear weight. I'll lift the other foot off, and you can see how much pressure that puts on that coronary. And I think this is a big pain response. So we're not going to get 100% relief by just protecting the bottom, because now this is our pain area up here. But it's still our responsibility to balance that foot and get a shoe on it to protect more debris from coming up from the bottom. You get a big stretch out over there. This is our Balata top level rasp. It's my rasp of choice right now. And I guess I should show you how much of a gap there is. I don't know if this is going to show on the video or not. Underneath, you can see a gap underneath there. I'm going to dress that down and try to get it a bit more flat to mimic what we have on this side. Didn't take much dressing there, but I'm going to take this off. As I sight this foot from this position right here, now I'm seeing more symmetry to the bottom that kind of mimics that coronary band. As I pointed out before, this horse has a lot of wall and a lot of thickening of the wall and the white line.